'Cause I know you know better, yeah, you know better than most about borrowed. Fly with me tonight into tomorrow. Into tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first episode of Man of Tomorrow. On today's show, Oprah Winfrey, Jerry Seinfeld, and the corpse of Charles Dickens. Can you tell we don't actually have any guests? Hey everybody, how you doing? How are you? Welcome to the first episode of Man of Tomorrow. Feels good to say that. I haven't been on the air in a month. Technically, haven't been on the air ever because I'm not in radio. But how are you people? How has your month been? And who am I talking to? That's true, this is the first episode of a new show. For those of you who were listeners of the previous incarnation of the show, my beloved Oops, Wrong Hole, may she rest in peace, you may be wondering why I changed the title. Why would I abandon such a classy title? And the answer is, as problematic as I knew it was going to be, with a title like Oops, Wrong Hole, which is, by the way, the reason I chose the title. I wanted to have a show that had a title that should never be the title of a show. That was the entire reason behind having a show called Oops, Wrong Hole. But with all the problems that I knew it would bring, the struggles, the trials and tribulations, ladies and gentlemen, I still believed that it was worth it. That it was worth it to hold on to this title and to make sure that I made the podcast work, that I broke through, made it successful with that title. Mainly because I thought it would just be hilarious. I just wanted to hear other people have to say it. Like, if I wanted the podcast to get huge, ginormous, so that I could have the peace of mind of knowing that if I were ever hit by a bus, Jake Tapper would have to say the name of the show on the news to the nation. I just wanted to know that if anything ever happens to me, a plane falls on me, someone sneezes malaria into my face, whatever it is, I just wanted to know that I would be on my deathbed certain that someone with the gravitas of an Anderson Cooper would have to be saying the title of my show to the nation. I just wanted that knowledge so I could float off into the ether with a big old smile on my face, knowing that Jake Tapper or Anderson Cooper or a pre-pervy Charlie Rose would have had to look up into the camera and say, Ramses Ralvacast, actor and host of the beloved podcast, has been hit by a bus.
All right, you're going to have to say that again.
No, I think they heard what I...
Say it slower.
All right, I'll do it again. Ramses Ralvacast, actor and host of the beloved podcast, Oops, Wrong Hole, has been hit by a bus.
Do that again, man.
Oh, for the love of Mike, Oops, Wrong Hole. Oops, wrong hole, oops, wrong hole, oops, wrong hole. That's the name of the show we had, people. You satisfied? Huh? You happy now? I'm saying this crap on the air? This is not journalism.
Your voice is cracking.
This is not what I signed up for. I know my voice is cracking, Todd. I know. Thank you. Can somebody bring me some herbal tea? I wanted that. But, well, you know what? In the end, the greater good won. And what I mean by that is, I realized, I tend to make things harder for myself, across the board. A lot of times for no reason. And making things harder for yourself, in truth, doesn't have to be a bad thing. It can actually be very, very beneficial, depending on how you do it. Doing things the hard way can feel more rewarding, It can make you feel more capable. It builds character, whatever the hell, all these things happen when you do things in a more difficult manner. But like any other skill or tool or technique, if you don't use it in the proper way, if you don't keep track of it, if you don't handle it appropriately, it can get dark. That angel can become a demon overnight, people, and that's what was happening with Oops, Wrong Hole, my beloved Oops, Wrong Hole. Ironically enough, I saw that title would end up biting me in the ass more than it would help me. It would it's not that it couldn't work with that title, and yeah, it still would have been funny, blah, 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 but then eventually I was just like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. The joy that would come from the payoff of having a recognized show with that name, that joy slowly began to kind of dwindle when confronted with, the truth of how long it's going to take to make something work with that name. For a bajillion reasons, but that's what it came down to. Could it still work with that name? Yes. Is it worth doing it, considering how long it would take to make it work with that name? No, it's not. So that was it. That was it. The epiphany came down and I grabbed it, people. Took one small step for logic, one giant leap for time management. And here we are, episode 1 of Hombre de Mañana. But I do want to say I do not regret having that title. You were good to me, Oops Wrong Hole. You showed a lot of things. It's a revealing title. That's the thing. It had a lot of upsides to it. It revealed a lot in the people that I was speaking to when I would say it to them. It would. For example, before having a podcast with a title like Oops Wrong Hole, I never knew how many of my friends secretly belonged on Downton Abbey. I had no idea. It was the craziest thing. It was like magic. It would just bring out the secret prudes in everyone. It was amazing. It was like magic. It was like a spell. It was a spell that could make the line in the sand appear. It was a spell that could make them finally find something that they were just very, very not comfortable with saying out loud in society. It was awesome. They would be down to support the show, and then I would tell them the title, and they would just be like, oh dear me. Do you expect me to tell people about this show? I can't possibly repeat that title. Are you insane? Surely, old sport, you know we can't say something as risque as that. I quite agree. It would be a scandal. Now, settle down. Surely we can talk some sense into this man. Why don't you name your show something sensible? Like, Funny Ha-Ha. Or Giggles with Ramsay. Don't you like that? I think it has a great ring to it. Giggles with Ramsay.
I don't know about that. I mean, Giggles with Ramsay sounds like a show hosted by a pedophile.
Well, I don't hear you offering any ideas, Gertrude.
Well, here's an idea. Why don't you shut up, you bloody wanker?
Oh, I swear to God, if you weren't my cousin/wife, I would...
You would what? You would what?
Huh?
No, what would you do? What? Nothing.
I'll tell you...
You would do nothing.
I will...
George?
Oh God, I'm so embarrassed. Look what you did.
Oh, for heaven's
you look at
sake.
me. You look what you did. You know when I get mad, I get the shits. Yep. It revealed stuff, people. That's what that name did. I also like that it was just comedic right off the bat, you know? It got a reaction. It got a reaction immediately. And I'm going to miss that. Now, what does this title mean? What does Man of Tomorrow mean? In all honesty, to me, it doesn't mean one thing. It means a whole crapload of things. Depending on who reads it, it could mean even more things, and that's why I like it. I like the title because it can be anything. It could be plural, sarcastic, singular, ironic. It's just a cool title. It could remind you of a whole mess of things. Sci-fi, all these things I like. So, yeah. Boom. That's the lowdown. I gave it to you on ice. I don't know what I'm saying right now. Which is a great segue to a quick story. 2 days ago maybe? Yeah, 2 days ago I went to my friend's house for a delicious hang time/meal. He was cooking up a storm, people, and it was going to be great. He invited me and another friend of his to join. There were more people there, but for the sake of the story, I'm only going to mention us 3 so that it makes sense. I'm there, my friend's cooking, and his friend arrives. This is a man that I've met maybe 4 times. Okay, I've seen him 4 times. I didn't meet him 4 times. He doesn't have split personality disorder. He shows up. He walks into the room. I say hi. He sits down. We start joking, laughing. You know the deal. Have you ever been in a situation where someone that you're acquaintances with, but like making your way towards friendship with, baby steps, but you're only like 1 or 2 baby steps in max? Have you ever been in a situation where this acquaintance suddenly decides, I'm going to skip all the baby steps, and just assumes you're cool with anything and just opens his mouth and unleashes the Kraken? Has that ever happened to you people? Because it happened to me. I'm there just hanging, having a good time, and then somebody mentions cilantro. Cilantro. Not the most exciting of topics, but somebody brings up cilantro. They ask a question. I forgot what it was, but they asked a question. Somebody said blah, 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 blah. Then cilantro, do you know? Nobody knew the answer to the cilantro question. No one. Not me, not my friend, not his friend. No one knew. And at that moment, when I'm like, yeah, I don't know, this dude turns his head to me and goes, well, you're the brown one. Let's rewind. You are the brown one. That's what he said to me. And then he paused, expecting me to laugh. He actually looked at me as if like, no laugh? Come on, give us a brown laugh. Isn't that the best? Isn't that the best? When someone says something in a setting like that where now it's on you to dictate what happens with the night. It's one of those weird social things that happen every once in a while. Just a strange situation that defies logic. I don't understand it, but it's happened to me multiple times. Where person A will say, crazy thing to me, and then I, person B, is actually the one who's like responsible for the night. Because at that moment, I gotta decide if I say what I wanna say or pretend like it's all good. In the end, I chose a middle ground. I didn't yell at him. I didn't curse him out. What I did was, as soon as he went, well, you're the brown one, I went, damn. Damn. Whew. Damn. Damn. Didn't flip out, didn't burn the house down, didn't laugh either. I found the Buddhist center. I found my chi. I found my power, people. In that moment, my power lied in how awkward I could make that moment. And for how long I could make it awkward. And I milked it. God, I milked it. You could hear a pin drop and it was beautiful. I'm not even upset about the statement double dipped in racism. I'm not even upset about that because I'm sure he didn't mean it maliciously. I'm 95% sure he didn't mean it maliciously. That's not what I'm upset at. I'm upset at the idea that this guy's brain told him, you know, I've hung around this guy for about 16 hours total. I'm sure I know he's going to be fine with this. Let's do it. They just like launched this verbal diarrhea tidal wave. I'm like, what the hell? What? What are you doing? It was such like rapid fire disappointment. It was the weirdest thing. I was like, what the hell? Come on, man. What are you doing? The baby steps, dude. Don't you know about the baby steps? I bet you guys know about the baby steps. That's right. Bet you believe and respect the baby steps. Don't assume. Because you know what happens when you assume. That's right. You make an ass out of you. I've got no part in this. Thank you for tuning into the first episode of Man of Tomorrow. I'm Ramses Ralvacast. Feel free to join me on social media. I'm everywhere at Ralvacast. See you next time, people, and have a pleasant tomorrow. Hasta la bye-bye.